Hey everyone, we're just going to go over a quick tutorial on the very basics to get you started playing Ars Victor Digital. Remember, this is based on the board game Ars Victor, so you can always go to arsvictor.com/alpha to read the rulebook for that one, check out the quick ref, or you can join our Discord server, which is linked in the description below, to ask anybody any questions you have about the game. Let's go ahead and just jump right in so we can get started here. Ars Victor is a war game, a two-player war game. Your army is right here at the bottom of the screen. The enemy's army is at the top of the screen. And here is the battlefield. In the mode I chose, everything is randomly generated. The left side of the screen will contain information about your team, your stats and everything. The right-hand side will have information about the enemy's team and units. And this little status bar here in the middle will tell you what you're supposed to be doing at any time in the game. These monitors here represent your glory. Think of them like your hit points. The object of the game is to reduce your enemy's glory down to 0. The way you do that is by either killing enemy units, or you can occupy these center capture points here with the purple hex outlines. And then there's a third way that has to do with your HQs that I'll explain later. So when you hover over a unit or click on them, it brings up some information. These are your combat stats here. Every unit will have melee attack, and most units have ranged attack. These bars right here indicate the dice that you will throw during your attack. There are 3 different colors of dice in the game. White dice are the worst. They have just 1 hit. Red dice are medium level dice. And blue dice are the strongest, so this is quite a strong unit. For ranged units, there'll be a monitor here with a number that tells you what kind of distance they have for their attack. If they have a plus sign, that indicates that they get a bonus hex range if they have not moved for that attack. Down here in this box, you have the unit's move actions. This guy can walk once and run once. That's important because you can only attack if you have either not moved or only walked. So this guy can either move 2 spaces, or he can move 1 space and attack, or he can just not move at all and attack. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner is how much the unit costs. So if this unit is to die, that's how much glory is deducted from the person's team. So if I had this guy on the board and he was to die, I would lose 10 points. That would be pretty devastating for me because I only have 22 to start with. I'd be down to 12. This box right here is the unit's hit points. He's got 4 out of 4 right now. Most units will have a red banner next to their hit points. That means that any skull dice will damage them. There are a few units in the game that are known as tough units. They have these little shields around them. Only the skulls that are filled in will damage them, so it'll be just a little bit harder to kill. In the bottom corner here and right here, you see that these guys have some special abilities. You can learn more about those by reading the quick ref. You can hit escape and go into the help screen to read more about those, but I'll just give you the basics on these two. These are pretty prevalent. The red one here is called Stand Fast. This ability allows you to convert 1 push dice into a hit, so that's helpful if you don't want to be forced out of your hex, if you would like to stand your ground. He's also got the exact opposite ability called Take Cover. This allows him to convert any hit result, just 1 hit result, into a fallback result. Okay, so just to start the game, we need to place our first 4 units on the board. We call that the Vanguard. You can place any unit you want except for your HQ the first time. So we'll click on a unit, and then every time you click on a unit, the board will show you the available spaces they can move to. So we can walk onto the board in any of these available spaces, so we'll choose one, and then we have to assign it a suit. So this is basically what you want to choose is determined based on the kind of cards you have in your hand. There are 4 suits in the deck, obviously. And they're broken into 2 colors, so it's like a standard deck of cards, except ours only goes from 2 to 7. So I've got a pretty interesting hand right here. I've got 4 circle cards and a single square card. So at the beginning of the game, you can choose any of the 4 suits to assign your guys. This is a turn-based strategy game, so each turn you'll be playing one of these cards. The number on the card determines how many action points you'll be able to take for that turn, and the suit determines the units that you'll be able to interact with that turn. So since I have a lot of circles right here, I'm going to start out my first 4 units being probably mostly circles. Now the enemy will take their turn. Okay, and now to start your turn, you'll have to play a command card. We'll just choose one of these. Since I've got so many circles, we'll just go ahead and play this one here. So now you see I've got 5 actions to spend. The way that actions work, it costs 1 action to do movement, and it costs 2 actions to attack. So I'll click on my guy here. You'll see all the hexes are illuminated that he can move into right now. He can move quite a way, so you can see he's got 3 movements. And underneath there, you'll see the number of actions, this little circle here. So if I were to move this guy, it'll just cost me 1 little action. So I played the circle here, and I moved a circle guy. You can see if I try to click on the gray guy, it won't let me move him at all because he's the wrong color. However, if I click on my diamond guy, you can see that I do get the chance to move him. However, it's going to cost me a little bit of a penalty because it's the wrong suit. But I can still affect him, but it's because it's the same color. So if I move this guy up, it'll cost me 2. So that's the absolute basics of how to play the game. You can jump right in right now. Feel free to join the Discord server and ask us any questions you have. Stick around, and I'm going to go into a couple more commonplace situations you're going to see while playing the game. Okay. You'll notice there are different terrain types on the hexes. The green ones represent forests. The orange ones represent hills. These gray ones here represent rough, or like a ditch. And then these fancy ones represent cities. Every type of terrain unit will cause you to stop unless you have a special ability that allows you to walk through them. So you'll see that if I click this guy, he's got 2 movement abilities. I can move 2 hexes this direction, but if I walk this direction, I'll encounter a forest and I'll be stopped. The other thing a lot of these terrain units do is they block field of view. So if you mouse over a character and hold down Alt, you'll see what hexes a character can fire into. You'll see that this particular field gun's view is obstructed by the cities on the right-hand side, as well as the hills directly in front of it. And then the range kind of dies off because of the forests over here to the left. A lot of times you will be attacked. Keep in mind the informational box here will tell you what you're supposed to do. I've been attacked by this field gun here, and I need to choose which hex I want to fall back into. You'll see that there's a little POW in each one of these, which means I'll take 1 point of damage no matter where I fall back to. If you ever get confused, consult the informational bar at the top of the screen to let you know what you're supposed to be doing. In this particular instance, my guy has taken 2 fallbacks, so I can choose to either fall back twice and take no damage, or I can use my special ability, Stand Fast, and convert one of those fallbacks to a hit. Fall back. Let's just run away. The third way I told you about reducing enemies' glory had to do with these flag guys here, your HQ units. If you have your HQ unit on the board and the enemy does not, they will lose 1 point of glory for each turn they don't have theirs on.